DEBx, amplifying voices, accelerating change.
Please help me welcome to the DEBx stage, David Fraijo.
This is my daughter Amy at about 9 years old. She was born breech and premature, which caused her to have disabilities. She had pain in her hips due to the breech. Her sight required her to have glasses at a very early age. And she had a real struggle with verbalizing. It was quite a challenge for her. She always seemed to me, since she was a little girl, that she knew the words that she wanted to say, but they just didn't come out the way she wanted them. Even as a young girl, she would say things like, "You not boss of me." And as a young woman, she would say, "Oh, Dad, stop being a victim." Even though she didn't put the words together like we could, she still made her point, and she was still very, very accurate at what she said, especially when it came to me. As you can hear, she was stubborn, hard-headed, and strong-willed. And I'm still not sure where she could have got that from. So she would be really frustrated with those people that would ignore her because of her disabilities and claim that they didn't understand her. And I tried to explain to them, they hear you, they're just not listening. And you're talking fine, you know. It's about them, it's not about you. Even with all of her challenges, she had a profound effect on people. She touched hearts with her handmade cards and her letters of support. And every holiday was a long list of cards that she would send out. But even in her presence, she affected people. When my sister-in-law was dying of cancer, she told me, "Oh, Amy makes me feel so good when I see her." And there are several people in this audience tonight that have been affected with Amy's healing, with Amy's spirit. I think everybody should have those kind of disabilities. This was Amy at 40 years of age, actually on her birthday. She had been diagnosed with Parkinson's in her mid-30s. The effects were incremental and showed up looking like they were behavioral. So she stopped doing a lot of her normal routines, like cleaning her room and taking a shower. And I thought she was being stubborn, so I confronted her. That didn't help. Instead, she became more aggressive. And then she started saying things. "The medicine is eating me." And I didn't listen. I couldn't listen. Instead, I wanted her to fight against the Parkinson's and not fight with me. I thought if I could influence her to manage it, and I also hoped and prayed that with her powerful spirit, she could cure it. So I coached and I challenged and I tried to influence her, sometimes to the point of bullying. I didn't see it then, but I was trying to control her. I realize now it was because I was scared. I've been scared most all my life. So you see, I grew up in an environment where it was loud and could be very violent. What I heard and listened to was terrifying. Unknowing this is what I brought to being a parent, I felt like a child trying to be a grown-up, let alone a parent. I was listening through the filter of trauma. Things for Amy progressed to the point where she stopped taking her meds and eating. The results of this were 2 stays in the hospital. And then she began to tell us that she was going to die. I couldn't hear it. I didn't want to hear it. So instead, I challenged her. It was the last day in the hospital, and then something within me shifted. I can't explain it. I can't define it. I don't even want to try. But Amy and I had this pivotal moment. So I sat with her at the hospital, and at some point she stated again, "I go to die soon." But this time, my response was simple: "I hear you, and I love you." Then I asked her, "Do you want to die?" And she pretty abruptly said no. I think she felt kind of challenged. And then I asked, "Why do you think you're going to die?" And as she looked down at her trembling legs and her trembling arms, she said, "I want body rest." I hear you, and I love you. There seemed to be a little bit of a pause as I placed a tissue to her drooling lips. And she added, "I want to go home. I love you, and I hear you." I don't know if I responded to the last question she asked. A lot of the conversation was kind of a blur. But then she asked me, "Are you going to miss me?" I think all I could say is, "I love you, Amy." The hour drive home seemed to take a lifetime, and I guess it was, because Amy died in her sleep a few days later, which was a week ago today, 2 years ago. This was most likely the first time in 41 plus years that we were together that I truly listened to her. And this has had a profound effect on me. I realized that not only wasn't listening to Amy, I wasn't listening to anybody, especially to those closest to me. I tried to control in order to ease my feelings of abandonment and fear. I thought I was preparing Amy for me to leave because of my age. What I know is that she was getting me ready for her to leave. And when she knew I got it, she left. So what did I get? Or better stated, what am I getting? I thought I was listening to others, but I wasn't. Instead, I was listening to my own agenda and my own needs. See if you can relate. Someone was sharing, and I'm in my head thinking of my response, not really listening to them, many times to the point of cutting them off. And if I did let them finish, I was instantly telling my story, thinking at the time I was trying to relate, but really what I was trying to do is just take over. I was not really listening because I was being triggered with my own insecurities and my own unresolved memories. So, who are you not listening to? Your spouse? Your kids? Your friends? Your coworkers? What agenda may you be imposing instead of really listening? So, as I stated before, I had hoped that Amy could cure herself. And she did. And she did it her way. Her body is no longer in pain. There's no need for glasses. How could I ever imagined that this young woman with supposed disabilities that struggled to communicate could have offered this old guy this powerful lesson on listening? Are you really listening? Thank you.